Hello, Tasha. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We are very pleased to have you here in Huconi Conference 2017. So, we know you are very involved in ACT Raising Safe Kids. And we are very interested in knowing so much more information about it. So, we have some questions for you, and you will explain and let us know more.
Okay.
What are the responsibilities of global community to prevent children's exposition to violence?
Well, in our field, we would hope that the world would care about children and want to protect them. So ideally, the global community would realize that when we don't care for children, we are actually harming ourselves and our communities. I think for governments, mostly what they listen to is about money and the bottom line. So what we need to do, I think, to convince the global governments to do more for children is convince them that it's cost effective. And so when we show them the economic analyses, the more money you put into prevention in the early years, you actually save the government a lot of money in incarceration, in social welfare, mental health, teen pregnancy, all of these things. So I think we as helping professionals know that it's the global community's job to take care of children, but I think with politicians, they're more focused on economic outcomes. So we have to appeal to the bottom line, I think, more so than their empathy. Unfortunately, I think it's a reality.
Yes, you're right. What are the effects of toxic stress on the brain?
It's very interesting to think about all of the neuroscience research that's come out in the past few years. Probably the last decade, we've seen this explosion in research on the neuroendocrine system, which is not only the brain, but the whole stress response system, which is called the HPA axis. So it's the hypothalamus of the brain, the pituitary gland in the brain, and then the adrenal glands above your kidneys. They make this feedback loop of stress hormones. And so every time you experience stress, like say I were walking off a curb and an ambulance came by and almost hit me, my stress system would be on high alert. And then I'd walk to the sidewalk and immediately calm down. But when you have a lot of trauma, you don't calm down like that. You keep the stress hormones circulating throughout your body. And so over time, you're living in fight or flight as if you were a caged animal. And so you start to have a lot of hypervigilance and always looking for danger. And over time, this starts to kill neurons in the brain, and it starts to impair your ability to learn, to pay attention, to connect with other people. So it affects all aspects of development, their physical development. It's related to illness, to more infections, diabetes, obesity, all kinds of health problems, learning problems, and social and emotional struggles, PTSD, anxiety, all of these things. So the more we can minimize toxic stress, which means chronic long-term stress over time, the more we can see the whole neurophysiological system come back into balance. And so that's one of the ways we see that we can do that, is to work with parents to teach them how to be calm, to be good role models, and to help their children to regulate their emotions and minimize stress in the family.
That's very good. That's one of Huconi's strategies, working with the family always. It's better.
Yes.
About ACT Raising Safe Kids, what are the challenges of adapting this program into different contexts?
It's kind of interesting that I wouldn't say we have major challenges, because we've worked so hard to make the program based on universal rules of human development. So it's not really culturally embedded. It's more about what every child around the world needs, what every child needs for safety protection, what all parents can provide for children's development. So that part hasn't been challenging because we tried to make it universal from the beginning, and we've always had international teams of people working. Our director of violence prevention at the American Psychological Association is from Brazil. So having our leader be not from the US, we have a really nice balance of different types of people in the program. And so the main challenge is usually financial, because you have to have the agencies in the different countries financially support their trainers, their parent educators to go out into the families. APA will usually help a little bit with the translations. So translations are often difficult because you have to translate it to the language, but then you have to back translate it to make sure that it's still exactly what APA wants it to say. So those are some things that are challenges, but our facilitators in each country are so skilled and so effective that it seems like, you know, we all have the same challenges, which are just attracting parents, retaining parents, funding. So these are not necessarily things about the cultural adaptations, because it seems like each country has done an amazing job because this is based on universal laws of human development.
That's good news.
Yeah.
The boss now.